Hi, everyone. Welcome to By the Glass. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am Gina My Own Earls. I'm the Executive Director of Blue Sky Bridge. It's really hard to believe that it's been more than a year since we were all together in person at the last By the Glass in February of 2020. I am really looking forward to the next time we can be together, which hopefully is this September for a singular feast, so stay tuned for more information on that. Thank you so much for being here. Well, we know that this virtual format isn't the same as being together. We really wanted to take this opportunity to connect with all of our amazing supporters and share some food and drinks. If you added on extras tonight, we hope you're enjoying your charcuterie from Savory Cuisines Catering and drinks from Woods High Mountain Distillery. Thank you both for partnering with us again this year. We are grateful to our stirred sponsors, Sandy and Sally Bracken and Melton Design Build, to our shaken sponsor, Glow & Co., and to our blended sponsors, Katrina Weigel and Zim Consulting. Thank you for sponsoring By the Glass and including your own swag for tonight's attendees. We appreciate all that you do to support Blue Sky Bridge. I also want to say congratulations to our giveaway winners. The $75 Big Red F gift card goes to Carrie Kirschner. A bottle of Camus Vineyards Cabernet Sauvignon goes to Karen Bernardi. And an Aero Garden in-home garden system goes to Megan McCabe. Congratulations. As Blue Sky Bridge supporters, you know that we celebrated our 25 years last year, to the extent we were able to celebrate. In that 25 years, we've supported thousands of children and families through their healing journey after an allegation of child abuse. We're able to do this work because of the Boulder County community, and we want to use tonight to share with you all the ways that we have adapted to keep serving Boulder County the best ways we can. Our last fiscal year ended just 2 weeks into the pandemic. We had just completed 276 forensic interviews, served 29 children through our therapy program, provided our education program to 3,825 pre-K through fourth grade students, and connected with over 10,000 community members through outreach programs. Due to COVID, these numbers look pretty different since then. Children were at home for much of the last year, sometimes in unsafe situations that kept them away from the trusted adults in their lives. Calls statewide to the Colorado Child Abuse and Neglect Hotline, which is 844-CO4-KIDS if you ever need it. Those calls were significantly down, with a 30% decrease in reports from education professionals as children were away from school. The silver lining was that calls from friends and family increased 5% last year. That is huge. It gives us hope that our message is getting out to the community and that adults are recognizing that it is their job to keep kids safe. Throughout a year full of uncertainty, Blue Sky Bridge continued to grow. We added 4 new staff positions within the last year, including positions within our child advocacy program, our therapy program, and on our education team. These positions were added in part to help us transition our services and programs to virtual platforms like this one. Our education team adapted our kindergarten and third grade body safety lessons into animated videos to allow for online learning. The animated videos are developmentally age appropriate with an emphasis on touching rules and body safety rules, the differences between secrets and surprises, identifying trusted adults, and the No, Go, Tell plan. The curriculum seeks to increase awareness of abuse, teach strategies for prevention, and instruct on how to report abuse if it has occurred. The curriculum also equips children with a strategy to help keep themselves safe and encourages open dialogue between children and the adults in their lives on issues related to sexual development and abuse. In addition to the animated videos for students, the team is able to conduct live booster sessions over video chat to ensure understanding of the content. Accompanying the student curriculum are virtual parent talks and online trainings for teachers. We have many other training opportunities for our community at large, and all of those have moved to online platforms as well. You can learn more about our popular Nurturing Healthy Sexual Development and Stewards of Children trainings, as well as some lunch and learn opportunities on our website. The Blue Sky Bridge therapy program began serving clients with telemental health really almost overnight when the pandemic began. The National Children's Alliance provided resources and guidance on best practices for providing telemental health for children on platforms like Zoom. We were able to loan 2 Kindle Fire tablets to children without access to technology to keep them on track with their healing journey. For some children, therapy over screens was an easy transition because it felt safer. For others, it added additional challenges of keeping them engaged, but our therapists have found ways to connect with clients and continue services throughout the pandemic. Our team has also continued to adapt our telemental health services through booster sessions for recently graduated therapists, recent therapy graduates, and through our caregiver support groups. In our child advocacy program, we are using new protocols and increased technology to conduct forensic interviews and family support. Before COVID, children coming to Blue Sky Bridge for a forensic interview were able to bring caregivers and their families for support. Children would meet face-to-face with an interviewer, and caregivers would receive in-person crisis counseling and support. Our building had enough space for 2 families to be on site at the same time while still maintaining privacy. Now, to keep everyone safe, we have limited the capacity to 1 caregiver per child and space out interviews for cleaning between sessions. We are conducting teleforensic interviews and family support via Zoom to ensure the health and safety of everyone coming to Blue Sky Bridge. You will learn a little more about this in the upcoming video that is highlighting this program. Conducting a tele-FI takes more time, more space, more staff, and more technology than a standard forensic interview, which has limited our capacity. Now, for more on that, I would like to introduce 2 of our staff members, forensic interviewer Katie Ashburner and family support advocate and forensic interviewer Marissa Odell. They will take you on a tour of our building and show you the changes that we've made to keep everyone safe during this time. After that video, you'll hear from our board chair, Deputy District Attorney Jessica Dotter. Thank you again for joining us tonight. Thank you for your support for Blue Sky Bridge, and I truly can't wait to see you again in person. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Katie Ashburner. I'm one of the forensic interviewers here. I've been working at Blue Sky Bridge for about 9 years, and prior to COVID-19, I had done over 1,000 interviews in our traditional way. And so since the pandemic, we've kind of changed things up, and now we're doing what's called a tele-FI. Essentially, that just means we're using some technology to keep kids safe and still get the information that we need for investigations. So kids come to Blue Sky Bridge when there's an allegation of abuse or neglect, and we want to get a statement from them in their own words, and we want to do it in a child-friendly, neutral environment. So this is one of our forensic interview rooms. It is equipped with a camera and a microphone so the investigative parties are able to watch. What we've done now, because of the pandemic, we want to be able to have kids have their own space, and so the child can have this room to themselves. If they want to take off their mask, they can take off their mask in this room and talk with me that way. We have technology set up, and I'll be in another room, and we can talk over a Zoom meeting to figure out what's been going on with them. If at any point they need me to come into the room, they feel more comfortable that way, I'll put my mask on and I can come back into the room and talk with them that way. So this is one of our observation rooms. Traditionally, what would happen is our partners, like the detective or the caseworker investigating the case, would come on site and be able to watch the interview in real time. So what's happening now is we're using technology to do all of the same things that we did before. We've hired an additional staff member who's our forensic support associate, and they're able to monitor all of the technology that we're using to ensure confidentiality and make sure our partners still have access to all the same information that they did before. To conduct an interview now, what's happening is we have 2 Zoom meetings going on at the same time. Our forensic support associate is running the meeting so that our partners are able to watch live, and then there's a separate meeting happening with the forensic interviewer and the child. This way, the child doesn't have to interact with partners while the interview is happening.
I am Marissa Odell. I am a family support advocate here at Blue Sky Bridge, and we're in one of our family support rooms. Prior to COVID-19, this room used to be a child room where kiddos would come before and after their forensic interview to play and become comfortable in the environment with some of our case support workers. Since COVID-19, this has been turned into just a family support room where we're engaging with the family and the caregiver in a socially distanced way. So what family support looks like with COVID-19 is the non-offending caregiver that escorts the kiddo to their forensic interview appointment stays in this room, and we have an iPad here with a secure Zoom going so that the caregiver stays down in this area. They can take off their mask and they have a larger room that they can sit and become comfortable with, and the family support advocate is upstairs in their office speaking with them over Zoom in a socially distanced way, but we still have the ability, since we're in the same building, to come down and meet if anything needs to be face-to-face or we have any other close contact, of course, with our masks on. So what family support looks like here at Blue Sky Bridge is prior to the forensic interview appointment, our advocates reach out to the caregiver that's bringing the child to ask them COVID-19 screening questions, answer their questions about the process, give them a general expectation of what the day is going to look like, and then of course help them get here and make sure that they're coming here in the right place and time. Once the forensic interview starts with the child, the non-offending caregiver meets with us over our Zoom, and we go over lots of questions and expectations. We're able to explain the process here at Blue Sky Bridge, the process of law enforcement investigations, the assessments that DHHS may be involved in, and then any DA processes that they can expect in the future. The other things we do here at Blue Sky Bridge is we talk about resources and benefits for the caregiver and the family. And this can look like making referrals to mental health therapists or counselors, talking about support groups or peer groups for either the caregiver or the child or their siblings. We can go over benefits and other monetary assistance that they may qualify for, and generally connect them to other agencies or nonprofits in the area that may be beneficial for anyone in the family. After the forensic interview, our family support advocates facilitate a meeting between the investigators that were watching the forensic interview here on our Zoom and iPad, and that enables the caregiver that escorted the kiddo to ask any questions in the moment about how the forensic interview did, any follow-up questions about the process, and understand immediate next steps from the investigators. Once the family leaves, after their forensic interview and the family support session is completed, our family support advocates continue to reach out to our caregivers and families. Some of the things we do when we reach out to them is making sure that any referrals that we made here at Blue Sky Bridge are completed and there aren't any other issues. We talk about ongoing services or benefits that they may qualify for and want to think about in the future, and generally make sure that they're communicating well and frequently with the investigators so that they know how their process with law enforcement or DHHS or the DA's office is going to go. We're able to communicate frequently and openly with our caregivers that come here to make sure that they don't have any questions and that they feel supported and that they have the necessary resources to continue to care for their kid in the best way possible moving forward. So now we're going to go to our case support area, which used to be our therapy lobby across the bridge. So now we're in our case support area. Prior to COVID-19, this used to be our therapy lobby and our 2 therapists' office. Because of COVID, our therapists have been able to do telemental health, which has allowed us to occupy their lobby and offices. So after a child is done with their forensic interview, they come over here and they interact with our case support workers like Tava here. So the kiddos are able to play and engage with our case support workers and have a positive experience before they leave Blue Sky Bridge.
Thanks, Gina, for sharing what this last year has been like at Blue Sky Bridge. And Marissa and Katie, I know you're at home watching, and I want to say thank you for talking us through all of the extra time and resources that go into conducting forensic interviews and providing family support during a pandemic. Your dedication to Boulder County is so appreciated by all of us. My name is Jessica Dotter, and I'm a Senior Deputy District Attorney in the Sexual Assault Unit at the 20th Judicial District Attorney's Office. I also have the honor of serving Blue Sky Bridge as the chair of our Board of Directors. I'm so grateful to have all of you joining us tonight so you can learn more about just how hard the staff of Blue Sky Bridge has been working to keep our kids safe throughout this pandemic. It's hard to believe that it was a year ago this week that most of us started working at home and what we thought was going to be a temporary role. It's difficult to believe that kids were put on an extended break a year ago. And unfortunately, since that time, many of them have found themselves in unsafe situations through no fault of their own, but without trusted adults to turn to or confide in. Blue Sky Bridge has ensured that these kids and their caregivers continue to receive support and care despite the COVID-19 pandemic. Our team has worked endlessly to ensure that these kids remain safe at home and in their schools. Tonight, I'd like to share with you a story about healing and what happens when children do have access to trusted adults. This story begins with a teen who disclosed to a school staff member that they were sexually assaulted by one of their peers, that this happened on school grounds. Unfortunately, the teen had to go through a number of interviews with various adults, just as part of school protocol. But once the report was made to law enforcement, the teen was set up with a forensic interview at Blue Sky Bridge. After they completed that forensic interview, they were provided a referral to the Blue Sky Bridge therapy program, where their caregiver and they were able to meet with a therapist in person just a few times before the COVID-19 shutdown. Luckily, due to the overnight switch to telemental health that you heard Gina tell you about earlier, this teen was able to continue working through her weekly trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy sessions and continue their path towards healing. It can sometimes take years for a case to make its way through the criminal justice system, all the way from disclosure to the end of prosecution. And during the pandemic, it's been especially difficult. The Boulder District Courts were forced to suspend jury trials not once, but twice. This resulted in a large backload of cases at the District Attorney's Office that we are still working through hard every day and will continue to work through over the next few months. Luckily, the case we're sharing with you tonight was prosecuted by our Brad Turner. And Brad Turner is an excellent prosecutor in the DA's office who handles a juvenile sexual assault caseload. Luckily, in this case, the offender took responsibility. They pled guilty and they were sentenced. The survivor and their parent were each able to write a meaningful victim impact statement and present it to the court at sentencing through their therapist. Now, through therapy, the teen was able to truly realize that the assault was not their fault. They were able to write this compelling victim impact statement expressing their strength and their courage through the process, and they continued to work through that trauma, not only from the sexual assault, but from the ripple effects at school, the secondary trauma that comes from the social and emotional pain of suffering this sort of abuse, the trauma that comes through having to continue going to school with your offender and of being bullied by other peers. Now, the team did an incredible job speaking courageously about their experience, their pain, and their healing throughout this process. They continue to display resiliency to this day. The client resumed in-person therapy sessions following COVID protocols and is showing a marked reduction in trauma symptoms. They're on track to graduate from the therapy program in the coming months. As part of the therapy process, the client wrote self-affirmations, and I'd like to share with you some of those words from the client themselves, with their permission, of course. I came forward to tell my truth about what happened, and to protect myself and others. It took a lot of courage to come forward, and I did it multiple times and with many barriers that I pushed through. I experienced a trauma and an aftermath that were very painful and challenging to confront and process, but I'm at the final stages of my healing. I am feeling so much more free from it. Now I can hang out with people and do all the things I want without having the same constant worry. I am a much stronger person than I was before. I have grown a lot through what happened, and it's made me see everything from a different perspective. I feel like it kind of unclogged my vision. And this summer, I really felt more, and I really didn't care that what other people thought. I had a really great summer, and I feel like I got a weird boost of confidence from everything I've been through. I entered a new stage in my life, and I am empowered. I know this has all had an impact on me, but it does not define me. I am stronger and more aware. This did not break me. None of this was my fault. And now I'm stronger than ever. I love my new confidence and how hard I've worked through this on top of a crazy COVID year. I am proud of myself. I believe in myself. I love myself. Blue Sky Bridge is a resource like no other. Child advocacy centers exist to help children, teens, and their families navigate through abuse. And Blue Sky Bridge staff are highly trained to minimize trauma and help teens like this one get through the healing process, come what may. Once this teen was in the facility and they would receive the forensic interview, family support, and therapy, this was all done at no cost to them. Now, my role in seeking a just outcome in each and every case begins with a forensic interview at Blue Sky Bridge. But thanks to your support, it ends with the healing process through therapy. When children have access to these services offered at Blue Sky Bridge, they have access to healing. And that's why Blue Sky Bridge is so crucial to keeping the children of Boulder County safe. Now I ask you and compel you to support Blue Sky Bridge because all of this is only possible with your support. Please join me in supporting Blue Sky Bridge and making a donation by clicking on that blue donate button below this feed. Thank you and have a good night.